He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for joining us. Yes, happy Tuesday to you, wherever you're joining us from today. I'm glad we're here together for another story, and this time we're taking a super ride, this time with Reading Beauty. I hope you enjoy this one. It is a lovely one indeed. Coming back to Story Time after almost 2 years. Thank you so much for joining in. Glad you're here for this one, and welcome. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. Yes, indeed, Reading Beauty coming up right after a few greetings and, of course, checking in with you all. Thank you so much for joining in. And this one is written by Deborah Underwood and illustrations by MEG. And, of course, we're reading it with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Good morning to you and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for joining us. Glad you are here indeed. Thank you for being here. Reading Beauty coming up. Thank you for joining us. Please let us know where you are. And, of course, keep recommendations coming. If you have books that you'd like to see here on Storytime, please let us know and we will do our very best to bring them to you on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in and welcome. I hope that it is okay where you are. It is good here out in Oakland. It is going to be a little cold in the morning, but definitely warming up later in the day. And right now I can see already the sun is out and shining. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope that it is good where you are. Please let us know. Welcome. Get comfortable and get cozy. Yes, get to your favorite spot for story time. Thank you so much for joining us today and glad you're here. And of course, as we know, March is Women's History Month, and we continue to celebrate and commemorate that. And this week, particularly on Storytime, we are reading books by some outstanding women out there. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate it and glad that we are here together for this story today. All right, let us see who is with us this morning, ready for a beautiful story. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Nathan and Sarah, how are you out in Illinois? Thank you so much for joining in. Sarah and Nathan, and of course, Amanda West, appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I hope you're well. And of course, it's been a long time. I hope Indy is doing well too. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. Good morning to you, Amanda Waltman. How are you doing today? And you say, oh, yes, indeed. And of course, you're saying good morning to our Storytime friends as well. Thank you. Always appreciate you for that. Thank you so much for joining in. Baby Bia, how are you doing? Big hugs for you always. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime out in Gray, Seattle today. Well, I hope that Reading Beauty does indeed brighten up your day and maybe send some of that gray away. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. We're the only ones awake right now, so we're snuggling up on the couch for today's story. Sounds like the perfect place for this wonderful book indeed that we have today. Thank you so much for joining in. Please let us know where you are and, of course, where you're joining in from. And to everybody who's joining us, whether here on Facebook or on YouTube, you are very welcome. And, of course, if you're joining us for the recordings later on, thank you for joining in Storytime. Remember, you can find Storytime on Facebook as well as Instagram and also on our website at www.storytimewithmrlimada.com. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad we're here. Big events happening March 19th. Join us if you're in the Bay for an event at Rose's Tap Room, and that will be coming up March 19th. I'm excited for that one. And indeed, all are welcome. The toddlers, the little ones, everybody come join in story time. Thank you so much for joining us today. And of course, please let us observe the health protocols. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm glad we're here together. But we do have a wonderful book to read today. Reading Beauty, coming back after a long time. This one written by Deborah Underwood and illustrated by MEG Hunt. And of course, reading it with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Good morning to you and welcome to Storytime. Please join me on the other side of this message for our reading for today. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. See you in a bit.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Davis. I am a children's book author, illustrator, and high school art educator. I am the author of 30,000 Stitches, the inspiring story of the National 9/11 flag, illustrated by Sally Warren Comport and published with Worthy Kids # book group. One thing that drew me to writing 30,000 Stitches was the idea that people from all different communities came out to stitch this flag and make it whole again. So I hope that when people read 30,000 Stitches, they remember the power of sharing our stories. When people came out to stitch the flag, they shared their stories, whether about loss or pain or love. We all have stories to tell, and by sharing our stories and listening to one another's stories, we can create a better understanding of each other and create a sense of connection and unity. And this is what creates a more inclusive world. I hope you enjoy your story time with Mr. Lamada. Bye, everybody.
Welcome back. Thank you so much, Amanda. Absolutely appreciate that positive message indeed. Inclusivity. Yes, indeed. That's what we're all about. Thank you for joining in. And we've got the three Amandas today. Amanda West, Waltman, and of course, Amanda Davis. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you. Oh, welcome. Just in time. Thank you so much for joining us. Pamela Courtney, Chad Braylon, how are you doing today? Well, we received those hugs with plenty smiles. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime from Natchitoches, Louisiana. Welcome, get comfortable. We're about to get started with this one, Reading Beauty. Here we go. This one, of course, coming from Deborah Underwood. And if you remember Interstellar Cinderella, yes, Deborah Underwood and Megan Hunt brought us those ones too. Thank you so much for joining in. Get ready. Here we go. And we're reading this one with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Reading Beauty by Deborah Underwood, illustrated by Meg Hunt, and read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Once upon a planetoid, surrounded by book lovers, a princess lacks read morning, noon, and night beneath her covers. Oh, sounds like the perfect place. And perfect activities, reading all day. Once upon a planetoid, surrounded by book lovers, a princess lacks read morning, noon, and night beneath her covers. Lex's bedroom brimmed with books. She read them at top speed. She even trained her puppy, Prince, to fetch her things to read. Hint, hint, if you have a pet, somebody can help you bring those books. Lex's bedroom brimmed with books. She read them at top speed. She even trained her puppy, Prince, to fetch her things to read. But on her 15th birthday, Lex awoke. Her books were gone. What happened? And it's on her birthday too. Her books were gone. Who had taken them? Oh my. She raced to find her parents. Make them stop. What's going on? They answered with a story. Long ago, when you were small, we held a celebration and invited one and all. But while the guests were toasting you, we heard a muffled shout. A fairy burst in, furious that she had been left out. Who had been left out? How could you not invite me? I must say, I'm rather miffed. But wait, we did. Be quiet. Let me give your Lex a gift. Like all you wretched readers, Lex will live for reading. But when she's 15, she will flip a page and get a paper cut. The paper cut will bring a curse, and death-like sleep will take her. She will stay that way forever. Only true love's kiss will wake her. Oh my. Oh. That's why we hid the books away, her mother said, dejected. For any book could cut you, and you need to be protected. Without its books, the world grew bleak, consumed by dark and gloom. Lex watched the shadows spreading from the windows in her room. It's all my fault, she said to Prince. I can't let things get worse. I will fly to find the fairy. Then I will make her break the curse. Prince's nose picked up a scent. Good dog, those books, I need them. We'll bring a bot to pack them up and hold them while I read. Lex started off with how to fly, then how to find a fairy, and stories gave her courage when the trip got rough and scary. Meanwhile, in her fairy lair, the fairy shrieked, It's Lex! She won't get me! I will stop her with the thorny hedges hex! What do you think will happen? Oh my goodness. Be careful, Lex. A wall of thorns around her home. Nice try, but she can't hide. A garden book helped Lex cook up a homemade herbicide. The hedge dissolved to shriveled bits so Lex and Prince could land. The fairy said, That girl is doomed. I have something special planned. Oh my, what's out, Lex? What could it be that the fairy has planned? I will tempt her with the things she loves. A gorgeous, poisoned book entitled How to Lift a Curse. She will have to take a look. Zip zap! A glowing book appeared. Prince sniffed. What's this? What's this? Lex said. The fairy listened through the door. No sounds. She must be dead. Did Lex get tricked? The fairy inched near sleeping Lex to check her now closed eyes. Oh no, what had happened to Lex? But Lex sprung up and grabbed her wand and said, Hello, surprise! I got quite good at faking asleep when I was just a kid so I could read past bedtime. Now, about that curse you did. Oh my. That curse will last forever. You will never change my mind. Then Prince nudged Lex's leg and barked. Lex looked. What did you find? You were invited to a royal ball to celebrate the birth of Princess Lex. Invitation. The fairy had been invited after all. You were invited to my ball. We thought this didn't reach you. Wait, can it be that you can't read? Don't worry, I will teach you. Me read? In her excitement, the poor fairy didn't think. She touched the book, she turned ghost white and crumpled in a blink. Oh no. The fairy cursed herself, cried Lex. We need to help her, quick! Prince ran up and gave the fairy's face a sloppy lick. The fairy slowly came to life. What happened? I'm not dead. Oh, Prince loves everyone, Lex shrugged. She smiled and scratched his head. Yay for Prince. Oh, to the rescue. So Lex came home, the books came back, and the land was filled with laughter. Oh. The fairy found a job and all read happily ever after. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love this. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope you enjoyed that one. It is indeed a wonderful rendition of the book. And this one is called Reading Beauty, coming to you from Deborah Underwood and Meg Hunt. And of course, a big thank you to Chronicle Books for allowing us to share this book here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining in. Reading Beauty. I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, indeed. And I hope that books bring you laughter, just like it says in the book here. It says, and all read happily ever after. I hope that that is what it is for you. And indeed, the whole land is filled with laughter. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I love it. I hope you find many cozy spots to read from and just enjoy wonderful, wonderful books that are out there. Thank you for being here. And of course, if you ever need Storytime archives are there. Join us, or you can join us for the live indeed at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, you can join us at 11 a.m. Pacific time as well. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely appreciate you. That was Reading Beauty, coming back to Storytime after almost 2 years. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you out there, and I hope that you have a wonderful day indeed. May you read plenty day and night, even in the morning. Yes, anytime. Reading is good for the soul. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you, and I hope that you have a wonderful Tuesday today. We will be back again tomorrow with more Storytime, and tomorrow we bring back an exciting one that is also close to my heart. This one coming to you from Maria Lofton, and this one is book 2 in the series. Yes, Kids Love Auckland series, and this one is called Auckland Bird. Auckland Bird is coming to you tomorrow. Learn a little bit more about this wonderful city, this historic city, this beautiful, beautiful city of Auckland. Learn a little bit more about it, and of course, just have fun reading about some of our creatures out here. Wonderful birds indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I will see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. To everybody that joined in today, I am glad you are here. Amanda, Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, the biggest and warmest hugs to you as well. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it. I hope the gray lifts up out there in Seattle. Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely love it. Pamela Courtney, they say the kinfolk have never heard of Sleeping Beauty. What? Oh my goodness. Okay, read it today and then of course come back and see Reading Beauty. So that way you can definitely catch the story, enjoy the story a lot more. That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, please, Braylon and Chad, go back and read Sleeping Beauty for sure. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And I hope you enjoyed Reading Beauty. And I hope it makes more sense when you read Sleeping Beauty too. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Enjoy your reading today. I know one book that you'll be reading, one story that you'll be diving into today. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. Oh, thank you, Pamela Courtney. Appreciate you. Sarah and Nathan, appreciate you too so much. Thank you for joining us out in sunny Illinois. I hope that you get to enjoy a wonderful day out there too. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been Storytime for today, but we're back again tomorrow for more Storytime. And like we said, we will be reading Auckland Bird. So do join us for that one. Thank you for being here, everybody. Absolutely appreciate each one of you out there. And I will see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Happy Tuesday to you all. Much love. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be